All right, so here we're going to start talking about multiplying decimals, and we're just going to jump into some examples where we're going to find the product. So let's look here at A, and what we want to do first is you always want to start with the number on the bottom that is the furthest right. So you want to say 5 times 7 is going to give us 35. 5 times 3 is going to give us 15, plus 3 is 18. 5 times 6 is going to give me 30, plus 1 is 31. And then I'm going to start my next row. And remember, when you start your next row, you've always got to have that placeholder before you keep going. So now I've got my placeholder, and I can start with my next number that I come to. I'm going to do the same thing. 2 times 7 is going to give me 14. 2 times 3 is going to give me 6, plus 1 is 7. 2 times 6 is going to give me 12. So now I've got everything lined up. I'm just going to add 5 plus nothing is 5. 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 7 gives me 9. 3 plus 2 gives me 5. And 1 plus nothing out on the side there. So the trickiest part here, and we've just multiplied just like we've always multiplied, but you've got to count up your decimals here. Right here, we've got 2 decimal places. So you count all the numbers that however many numbers you have after the decimal place, that's how many we're going to be counting up. So we've got 1, 2. Then after here, we've got 1 decimal place. So that's a total, we should be looking at 3 decimal places. So count from the end, 1, 2, 3 places, and there's your decimal. So your answer for this problem should be 15.925. Okay. Let's work the next one. Change right to my red. All right, so again, we're going to start with the number that is the furthest right and on the bottom, so 5. We're going to multiply it by 2, gives me 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 4 is going to give me 20, plus 1 is 21. 5 times 7 gives me 14, plus 2 is 16. 5 times 2 gives me 10, plus 1 is 11. And then I stick a placeholder down here at the bottom. Then I'm going to have 2 times 2 gives me 4. 2 times 4 gives me 8. 2 times 7 gives me 14. 2 times 2 gives me 4, plus 1 is 5. Now I've got to have 2 placeholders. And I'm going to have 6 times 2 gives me 12. 6 times 4 gives me 24, plus 1 is 25. 6 times 7 gives me 42, plus 2 is 44. 6 times 2 gives me 12, plus 4 is going to be 16. And I'm going to add all this up. Get 0, 1 plus 4 is 5. Here's 16, carry the 1. We get 10, 11. And we get 11 again. 7 and 1. Now notice we have 1, 2, 3, and maybe it'll help if we write it all the way out. Let me get my black back. Here I've got 2 decimal places, so count up all those numbers, however many numbers there are behind the decimal. We've got 2 decimal places. Here we've got 3 decimal places. So total we should be looking at 5. So count from the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Decimal is going to go right there, so our answer is 17.11650. And you're done. All right, let's try a couple word problems since I'm hoping this comes back from 5th grade. So let's try some word problems. A snail moves at a speed of 2.398 inches per minute. If the snail keeps moving at this rate, about how many inches will it travel in 7.489 minutes? So we know that he's traveling 2.394 inches per minute. We want to know how many inches he will go in 7.489 minutes. Let's just take 2.394, multiply this by 7.489. Now remember, it's not, you're not required to line up decimals when you're multiplying. It's only when you're adding and subtracting when you're required to line up your decimals. However, this just lined up real pretty already, okay? So if I'm going to do this problem, again, I'm just going to do this in a different color so I can see what I'm doing. 9 times 4 is going to give me 36. 9 times 9 is going to give me 81, plus 3 is 84. 9 times 3 gives me 27, plus 8 is going to give me 35. 9 times 2 gives me 18, plus 3 is 21. Now I'm going to put my placeholder down below. Now I've got 8 times 4 is going to give me 32. 8 times 9 is going to give me 72, plus 3 is 75. 8 times 3 is going to give me 24, plus 7 is going to give me 31. 8 times 2 gives me 16, plus 3 is going to give me 19. 2 placeholders now. And again, I'm going to erase the things I carried because it may be different this time. 4 times 4 gives me 16. 4 times 9 gives me 36, plus 1 is 37. 4 times 3 gives me 12, plus 3 is going to give me 15. 4 times 2 is going to give me 8, plus 1 is 9. And then I'm going to start my next row. That one was short, pretty easy. Now I've got 7 times 4, and now notice I had 2 placeholders before, now I'm going to end up having 3. You get one more for each time. So 7 times 4 is going to give me 28. I'm going to put my 8, carry my 2. 7 times 9, oh goodness, going to give me 63, plus 2 is 65. 7 times 3 gives me 21, plus 6 is 27. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 2 is 16. So let's add up everything we've got now. We've worked our way through. I'm going to get 6 plus nothing gives me 6. 4 plus 2 gives me 6. 5 plus 5 plus 6 gives me 16. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 7. Okay, that's all going to go total up to 10, plus the 8 is going to give me 18. 10, 22. Let's see, we've got 19, 7, and then 1. So now I've got to figure out where my decimal is going to go. Notice here, and I'm going to do it in another color again, we've got 3 decimals here. Got 3 decimals here. So I should be looking at 6 decimals down here at the bottom. So count from the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've got my decimal, and I'm done. Okay, so my answer to this problem was 17.928666, and there was my answer. And that's how many minutes. If we should be specific and say that's inches. That's what we're finding. So inches that the snail will travel in as many minutes as they asked us. All right, let's go on to the next one. Victoria's printer can print 8.804 pages in 1 minute. If Victoria prints pages for 0.903 minutes, about how many pages will she have? So this may mean that they want us to round it a little bit. We may get an exact answer, we'll see. But we've got to multiply 8.804 by 0.903. Okay, so 3 times 4 is going to give me 12. 3 times nothing gives me nothing, plus 1 is 1. 3 times 8 gives me 24. Carry the 2. 24 again, plus 2 is 26. Placeholder. 0, 0, 0, 0. Hopefully we all know 0 times 0, anything is just 0. So that will clean that up for us. 9 times 4 gives me 36. Now remember, I've got to put 2 placeholders down here. 9 times 4 gives me 36. Put my 6, carry my 3. 9 times nothing gives me nothing. Plus 3 is 3. 9 times 8 gives me 72. Oh, I'm putting these in the wrong place. 9 times 8 gives me 72 again. And now I've got to add that 7 is going to give me 79. Okay, now let's add up what we've got. 2 plus nothing is 2. 1 plus nothing is 1. 4 plus 6 is 10. 6 plus 1 is 7. Plus 3 is 10. We've got 2 plus 2 1 is 5, 9 is 7. Okay, so we got all this fun stuff where I'm staying where it is. Notice here we've got 3 decimal places, 3 decimal places. So down here we should total that up and have 6 decimal places. So count from the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Decimal place will go there. So our answer is going to be 7.950012 pages. Now remember, it's difficult. We're not going to print part of a page. This is why they want us to say about how many pages. So 7.95, I mean, that's really close to 8. So we're going to say it's about 8 pages that they're going to print, okay? And let's do one more here. It's kind of a multiple step, and these are all problems from our textbook. But we'll try this one real quick. We'll try to get through it quickly. There's several steps to it, but it says Kay goes for several bike rides one week. The table shows her speed and the number of hours spent per ride. And 23 says, how many miles did Kay bike on Thursday? Thursday's right here. Her speed was 10.75 miles per hour, but she only spent 1.9 hours on the bike. So let's multiply that together to figure out how many miles she biked on Thursday. So we have 10.75 times 1.9. 9 times 5 is going to give me 45. 9 times 7 is going to give me 63, plus 4 is 67. 9 times nothing gives me nothing, plus 6 is 6. 9 times 1 gives me 9. I'm going to go down to my next row. Got to put my placeholder. Do not forget your placeholder, please. 1 times 5 gives me 5. 1 times 7 gives me 7. 1 times nothing gives me nothing. 1 times 1 gives me 1. And we've multiplied everything. Now let's add together. 5 plus nothing gives me 5. 7 plus 5 gives me 12. Now I've got 14, 10, 2. All right, so now I need to check my decimals. Notice here we have 2 decimal places. Here we have 1. So total we need to be looking at 3. So from the end, count 1, 2, 3. All right, it says how many miles did Kay bike on Thursday? Well, looks like she biked 20.425 miles, okay? Now we're going to try the next one. It says, on which day did Kay bike a whole number of miles? So we need to go through here, and they're actually wanting us to do it, calculate the mileage for each day. So we know on Thursday, I'm going to go ahead and write that one in because we already have it. 20.425 miles on Thursday. Let's figure out what it is for all the other days. So for each one, you're going to have to multiply the speed times the hours spent. So for Monday, let's do this. 8 times 2 times 4.25. 5 times 2 is going to give me 10. 5 times 8 is going to give me 40, plus 1 is 41. Put my placeholder. 2 times 2 gives me 4, and 2 times 8 gives me 16. Put 2 placeholders. 4 times 2 is going to give me 8, and 4 times 8 is going to give me 32. So I'm going to add these together and get 0, 5, 18, 4, and 3. Notice here we have 1 decimal place. Here we have 2 decimal places. So down here we need to be looking at 3 decimal places. So count from the end. 1, 2, 3. Decimal's going to have to go here. So on Monday, she biked 34.85 miles. Let me change my color here. 34.85 miles. All right. Let's do the next one. Let's calculate it for Tuesday. On Tuesday, I can get my black color back here. On Tuesday, it's 9.6 miles per hour for 3.1 miles. 1 times 6 is going to give me 6. 1 times 9 gives me 9. Put your placeholder. 3 times 6 is going to give me 18. 3 times 9 gives me 27, plus 1 is 28. So add these. 6 plus nothing is 6. 9 plus 8 is going to give me 17. Get 9 and 2. Okay, so here notice we've got 2 decimal places. Oh, no, I'm lying. 1 decimal place. What am I thinking? 1 decimal place. Here we've got 1 decimal place. So down here we should be thinking of 2 decimal places. Count from the end. 1, 2. So we have 29.76 for this one. I'm going to do a different color. 29.76 miles. All right, we're getting there. Still got to do it for Wednesday, and then we'll have to do it for Friday. All right. So Wednesday, she biked 11.1 miles per hour at 2.8 miles. 8 times 1 gives me 8. 8 times 1 gives me 8. 8 times 1 gives me 8. Put a placeholder. 2 times 1 gives me 2. 2 times 1 gives me 2. 2 times 1 gives me 2. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. 8 plus nothing is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1. Get 11. Carry the 1. And get 3. So notice we've got 1 decimal place. 1 decimal place. So we have total down here 2. Count from the end. 1, 2. 31.08. All right, we got one more. Let's clean this up. All right. On Friday, biked 8.8 miles per hour for 3.75 hours. 7 times 8 is going to give me 40. 5 times 8, sorry. 5 times 8 is going to give me 40. 5 times 8 again is going to give me 40 again. Plus 4 is going to give me 44. Put my placeholder. 7 times 8 now. That's going to give me, what is that, 56? Yeah, 56. So put your 6 down here, carry your 5. 7 times 8 again is 56. Plus the 5 is going to give you 61. Now we've got to put 2 placeholders. 3 times 8 is going to give us 24. Carry your 2. 3 times 8 gives you 24 again. Add the 2 gives you 26. So we're going to add this up. Get nothing. 10. Carry the 1. We now get 10 again. Carry the 1. 12, 13. Carry the 1. And then we get 3 here. So let's look at where our decimal is. 1 place. 2 places, so this should be 3 places. Count from the end. 1, 2, 3. And so we're talking about 33 miles. We don't even need the rest of that, okay? All right, so on which day did Kay bike a whole number of miles? It's looking like it was Friday. Of course, I left it for the last one. So I'm going to put my answer in here in red. Friday. And what is the difference in miles between Kay's longest bike ride and her shortest bike ride? We'll find her longest one, which looks like it was 34.85 miles, and the shortest one was 20.425. We've got to subtract these. Remember, when we subtract, we do line up these decimals, and we've got to fill up empty spaces with zeros. So when we do this, we've got to subtract here. 0 minus 5, can't do that, so we've got to borrow. This becomes a 4. There's a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 4 minus 2 is 2. 8 minus 4 is 4. 4 minus nothing is 4. 3 minus 2 is 1. So our difference here is 14.425 miles, right? Lots of work for 3 problems. Hope this helps. I know they're word problems. I know they can be tough, but again, I hope this helps, right? Good luck.